Before we actually start the section, let's just go over this little matching activity so you're familiar with the 11 systems of the body, some of the major organs found in each system, and some of the organs that are found in each system. So let's start with number 1, processes food. Which system of the body is responsible for processing food? The digestive system. So the answer to that one is E. Continue the species. Continuing the species is another name for reproduction. So the answer is F. Protect, cover, and temperature regulation. This covers the outside. It forms a boundary between the external environment and the internal environment by blood vessels dilating in the skin. We can radiate heat away from the body. And so the skin is part of which system? Integumentary. Gas exchange, that's exchanging oxygen and carbon dioxide, so that would be K, the respiratory system. Transportation of internal substances. The blood is the roadway through the body. Anything in the body that needs to go from the big toe up to the brain is going to travel in the bloodstream. Hormones, enzymes, nutrients. So transportation of internal substances would be A, the cardiovascular. Support, blood formation and movement. Now support's a little tricky because there are a couple of systems that could support. Movement, there's 2 systems that work together to give you movement, but there's only one system where you make blood. You make your blood inside of your bones. So the answer to this one is skeletal system, because the skeleton supports, it's where blood is formed, and it also works with the muscles for movement. So looking at number 7 should be easy, because movement and heat production, when we use energy and release ATP, some of that energy is given off as heat, and that helps us to keep the same temperature. So movement would be muscles, so that would be the muscular system. Control through electrical impulses. There are 2 systems that control, nervous and endocrine. Nervous is through electrical impulses, so number 8 is J, and endocrine is through hormones, so that is C. Immunity. Immunity is given to us by the lymphatic system. It has some other functions besides immunity, but that's the big one most people think of. And finally, 11, rid the body of liquid waste. We're not talking about food particles you couldn't digest in the digestive system, but we're talking about waste that come from cellular metabolism. So the answer to that one, rids the body of liquid waste, would be urinary. Now let's look at the organs. The heart. The heart is part of the cardiovascular system as well as blood vessels and blood. The stomach is one of the major organs of the digestive system, as well as the mouth, the pharynx, the esophagus, the small and large intestine. Bicep brachii is an example of a muscle. It's found in your upper arm on the anterior surface. So G, muscular system. Thyroid gland is one of your major endocrine glands. It helps to regulate metabolism with T3 and T4 hormones. The brain is one of the main structures of the central nervous system. A lot of stimuli are sent to the brain to interpret, and the correct response sent back to either affect muscles or glands. The ovary is a tricky one. The ovary can be part of the reproductive system as the female gonad, but it also gives off the hormones estrogen and progesterone, so we could say that it is part of the endocrine system as well. Femur is your bone in your thigh, scapula is your shoulder blade, tibia is the bone in the lower leg. So all of these are bones, so skeletal system. Skin, the major organ of the integumentary system, is skin. Lungs, the lungs are where you're going to bring in oxygen and give off carbon dioxide, and so that would be K, respiratory system. Lymph nodes, the hint is lymph nodes. They're part of the lymphatic system, as well as the thymus and the spleen and the tonsils. And finally, the kidney. The kidneys are the main filters of nitrogenous waste from the blood, and they produce urine, so it is D.